Hi guys, so after watching the opening of BlizzCon 2019, and watching the WoW section in particular, we finally had it officially confirmed what we kind of already knew was coming. What with all the leaks and rumours that were floating around, and that was the 7th and next expansion will be called and take place in the Shadowlands. So we are now able to cross over into the Shadowlands, aka the Afterlife, since Sylvanas defeated the Lich King and his Scourge. And she actually did it rather quite easily, and instead of donning the Lich King's helm for herself, which is what I thought she was about to do, she instead destroys it and breaks the boundary or barrier separating our world from the Shadowlands. If you haven't seen the cinematic, I suggest you go and check it out, as it's a pretty cool trailer for the next expansion, so I'll link it below if you're interested. So regarding the expansion itself, it looks as though we have 5 different zones to explore: Revendreth, Ardenweald, Maldraxxus, Bastion, and the Moor. It seems that Oribos the Eternal City will be the capital city for both Horde and Alliance, and from here we will start our levelling process. Touching on the levelling process, Ian Hazacostas said that in the Shadowlands we will all be getting a level squish to level 50, and that the new max level will now be level 60. I think this is a great change and somewhat overdue, as the levelling process has been a bit of a problem for a long time now. It's a chore for existing players who have experienced the old content numerous times, and it can be a rather daunting task for a new player looking to get into the game for the first time, as level 120 as it is now is such a large number to get to. Now, new characters will go through an introductory tutorial from level 1 to level 10. They will learn the basics of the game in Stormheim. This will involve teaching the players how to navigate the game world, the basics of their class, and a mini dungeon. From level 10 to level 50, you will be able to speak to Chromie and travel back to any expansion you desire to level up in. Everything including loot and mobs will all scale to your level. This means you can enjoy the expansion to its fullest and follow the story to completion should you wish to do so. If not, you can pick somewhere else to continue your journey. This is once again a great way to get new players into the game and up to endgame content much more quickly, as well as making it so much more user friendly and fun for people levelling their alts. Ian also said that our levelling process will be much more linear, which is a change up from both the Legion and BFA expansions, where we could pick and choose our starting or levelling zones. I actually think this is quite a good idea, as it changes up what we've become accustomed to, so it should feel somewhat more fresh and different to player. It will also allow Blizzard to tell us a story-driven levelling arc, and hopefully we will enjoy experiencing that. What makes this system even better in my opinion is that once you hit max level and maybe decide to then play an alt character, you will be able to do what was described to being similar to that of a New Game Plus experience, i.e. you will be able to level as you see fit in whatever zone you choose to, aka it reverts back to the Legion and BFA levelling systems. But that's not all. You will also be able to earn end game progression as you level, so using Battle for Azeroth as example. This could mean there would be no rushing on an alt to hit max level, so you can get into Nazjatar to farm those pearls, to get benthic gear that will get you up to a certain gear level to be able to start progressing in endgame content. Instead, this could mean you could have been earning those pearls as you level, meaning that once you hit max level, you could go right to Nazjatar, buy some gear and upgrade them right away, enabling you to be then fully ready and able to partake in endgame content. Now that was just a basic example, but it looks as though that could be the direction in which they're heading in, and I really do like this idea, as it makes the game much more alt friendly, and playing alts is a great way to stop players from being bored in an MMO, as it gives you more variety of different types of gameplay. Now, a new feature being launched in the new expansion are Covenants. Now, the Covenants are the 4 powers of the Shadowlands, and they consist of the Kiirans in Bastion, the Necrolords in Maldraxxus, the Night Fae in Ardenweald, and the Ventry in Revendreth. Ian said that the Covenant are the #1 major feature of the Shadowlands expansion, and from what I understand, your mission in the Shadowlands will be to choose one Covenant and help restore them to their former glory. Each Covenant has specific rewards, such as abilities tailored to each Covenant, as well as cosmetic rewards. It sounds as though when you're leveling through all of the different zones, you will get to experience all of the different Covenants, as each of them requires your help in some way, and in return for your help, they will offer you both rewards and power. However, once you hit max level, you will then decide which Covenant will be of benefit to you the most, and then choose to join that particular Covenant. From what I know, all Covenant abilities will be usable in all areas of the game, including Raiding and Mythic Plus, etc. You will be able to switch to a different Covenant, but it will come at a weighty cost. So this sounds like you can actually switch the Covenant, but it will come at a hefty price, be that financially or rep-wise, or in the form of some other valuable resource. This means people can change if they feel they may have made a mistake, but due to the cost involved, it means they can't just swap at will. Say if one Covenant ability was better suited for a raid environment, and another Covenant ability was better in a Mythic Plus environment. This to me sounds a lot like the Aldor and Scryer factions in Shatra, from the Burning Crusade expansion, where if you wanted to leave the Aldor side, and then side with the Scryers, you could, but in turn you would lose all of your rep with the Aldor, which took a long time to level up, and then you would have to start from scratch with the Scryers faction. Now this sounds super fun and interesting, but I do have a slight concern with these Covenant abilities, as some people may be forced to pick a particular Covenant by default, simply because they perform better in a certain environment. But until we know more about them, I can't say that for sure. I'll admit, Covenants sound very interesting right now if they are done well. They sound like a much more advanced version of a garrison or class order hall, and if they are going to be a major feature, then they do need to be done right, as they really can't afford them to fail. I also want to mention that character customization will be making its way into WoW. A number of new appearance options for all races will be made available to players when they create new World of Warcraft characters or alter their existing ones at the in-game barber shop. This will include things like skin and eye colour, body paint and tattoos. And whilst I think it's a good thing, as we've seen how it worked on the Demon Hunter, I'm not really sure how much customization you can do on a WoW character, as it's just not that kind of game, but it's still nice to have it. I'd also like to quickly mention that so far there are 8 new dungeons and of course a brand new 10 boss raid. Blizzard in my opinion always make great dungeons and raids, so of course that's something to look forward to. Speaking of dungeons and raids, this brings me on to Torghast, the Tower of the Damned, which is a new feature that seems to be a cross between a dungeon and a mage tower, and this is something I really have high hopes for. You can enter it either as a group or a solo player, and your objective is to ascend the tower, fighting the various creatures that lurk there. Blizzard have said that it's highly replayable and inspired by roguelike games. Think of the game Dead Cells for example. This would mean each time you attempt the tower, the enemies and layout will be different, meaning that each experience will provide you with a different challenge. This in turn keeps the content feeling a lot more fresh. Those who brave the trials can earn permanent upgrades that you can take out into the world with you, but you will also be able to earn upgrades just for your progression on the particular run that you are currently on. This comes in the form of something called anima, and this can change and boost your powers during your run. So for example, maybe you could boost your Destruction Warlock's Incinerate spell by 50% every 2 minutes. You know, things that would really affect your gameplay. So this could turn out to be a brilliant addition to the game. So to wrap this all up, overall, I'm pleased to say that it really does seem Blizzard has actually listened and learned a lot from the criticism and feedback that a lot of the players expressed to them. I do think the significant loss of a large amount of subscribers and the sheer number of people playing classic WoW has hopefully focused their minds on making more enjoyable and simplistic gameplay, and course corrected them from the path that they were taking. However, I say this with a hint of caution. I do think Blizzard have learned lessons, and from what we have seen from the Shadowlands so far, it could turn out to be a fantastic expansion. Anyway guys, there's so much stuff I've not covered, like professions, legendaries, no AP grind, etc. But this video has gone on long enough. Let me know what you thought of the expansion in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.